Hello my dear students, welcome all of you in our PPS video lecture series. I am Professor Bhumi Patel from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. In our previous lectures we are already completed our unit number 8, that is structure, and now today we are going onwards to our new unit, that is unit number 9, dynamic memory allocation. So for that we have to learn first two topics. First is a introduction to DMA and second one is a different functions available for a dynamic memory allocation. So let's understand first the introduction. So here the word is dynamic memory allocation, means we can allocate memory by our own, and how it will be allocated using two different way. First is a static memory allocation and second is a dynamic memory allocation. So understand first what is the static memory allocation. So in a static memory allocation we can allocate memory at compile time. Means suppose we are writing any declaration of variables like integer a, that indicates what? We are allocating memory at compile time, and that is nothing but the static memory allocation. Clear? And let's understand with one example. Here integer a of 10, then b and c, these are the variables, and a is nothing but our array. This concept is already learned in our previous lectures. So whenever this line will be executed, what happen? The total 10 into 2, that is 20 bytes is allocated for a variable a, that is our array, and 2 bytes for a variable b and c. This is what? Static memory allocation. And what is the disadvantage of it? When we are using static allocation, means the array concept, then what happen? Here the size is 10 and suppose I enter only 5 elements inside it, then the 5 remaining elements are blank and total 10 bytes of memory will be wastage. So to overcome this type of problem, now we have a new concept, that is dynamic memory allocation. In dynamic memory allocation we can allocate now memory at runtime instead of compile time. So here when we are executing our program, that is nothing but the execution time, or we can say run time. At that time we are now allocate the memory, so there is a no wastage of memory in this concept. Let's understand the difference between static memory allocation and dynamic memory allocation. So as I told earlier, in a static memory allocation, memory is allocated at compile time, but in runtime when we are allocating memory, it is known as dynamic memory allocation. And the second one is what? When we are allocating memory using static, it's stored in a stack, but when we are allocating memory using DMA concept, then it is stored in a heap portion. About the stack and heap we will see in our next slide. Now the third difference is what? When I know in advance the size of elements, then and then we can use the static concept. Otherwise we have to use the dynamic concept when the memory size is not known. So it is obviously the best static memory allocation when we have already know the size in advance, but when we have don't any idea regarding the memory in advance, then you can use the dynamic concept. So obviously the static memory allocation, as I told earlier, it is a less efficient because in this case we waste the memory, but in a dynamic memory allocation it is a more efficient. And the last difference is what? When you are using the static concept, then you cannot reallocate that memory again, or you cannot reuse it. But when you are using dynamic concept, then you can reuse it by deallocating that memory using different function. So here just see the memory layout, how in a memory the data will be stored. So majorly our memory is divided in a two part. First is a operating system and second part is again divided in a four different part. First is a heap, then stack, static variable, and the last is code. So when you are using dynamic concept, all the data will be stored in your heap portion, and when you are using static memory allocation, then your data will be stored in a stack. and when you are using static variables that are already discussed in our storage class theory, then these variables are stored in a static variables, and the last is a code. So our program has one code that is stored inside this code section. Clear? So when you are using dynamic concept, all the data will be stored in a heap. Now move to the next example, how it is stored. So here first I am declaring one variable integer x equals 10. That is what? Static memory allocation, because it is allocating memory at a compile time. So this is compile time allocation. So the static memory allocation is stored in a stack. Then printf is there to print the value of x. This whole code will be now stored in a last portion, that is code section. Clear? So likewise that our memory will be filled up. And then move to the next part, that is second, very most important, that is different functions for dynamic memory allocation. So first one is a malloc, the full form is memory allocation, and second is a calloc function, the full form is contiguous allocation. These two functions are used to allocate the memory. Third one is a reallocate, means now you can change the size of your allocating memory using reallocate, and the last one is a free. So when you not needed your previously allocated memory, then you can free it using this function. So let's move to the very first, that is memory allocation, that is our malloc function. So when we are allocating memory using malloc, it stores the large single block of memory. Clear? And how? Let's understand with the syntax. The ptr equals cast type and then star, and then our function, that is malloc, and inside round bracket we are passing the byte size. So what is the meaning of this syntax? This malloc function returns one pointer, and that pointer is of type void. So here we need casting. So here the cast type is there. That cast type is nothing but our data type. Suppose you want to store the integer value in your allocated memory, then your cast type is integer. Clear? And then the byte size is what? How many bytes you want to allocate using this function. So let's understand with example. Here ptr equals integer star, means we are storing all the integer value when this memory is allocating, and then malloc function, and then 5 into size of integer, means the 5 different value you can store of type integer, and the size of integer I don't know because it depends on a processors. For 64-bit processor it is different, for 32-bit processor it is different. So just like here I am writing size of integer, so it occupy 2 byte or 4 byte. Clear? So this malloc function, calloc function, all the functions are inside one header file, that is stdlib.h. So whenever you are writing program using this function, you have to compulsorily add this header file, that is stdlib.h. Now understand with example how memory will be allocated. So the same syntax I am using here, ptr equals integer star, then malloc 5 into size of integer. Here I am considering the size of integer 2. So total 5 into 2, 10 bytes will be allocated using malloc function, and the pointer is ptr. Now move to the second function, that is calloc. Full form is contiguous memory allocation. This is same as a malloc function, but the difference is what? Instead of single block, now the multiple blocks you can allocate using this function calloc. How? Let's understand with the syntax. Ptr equals the cast type star, then calloc function, and here I am passing two different parameter. First n, that is the number of blocks, and then element size. So if I am writing n equals 5, then 5 multiple blocks will be created using this function. Let's see the example. Ptr equals what? Integer star, and then calloc function, and inside age we are passing 5 comma size of integer. So only the difference is what between malloc and calloc? Malloc has a syntax like n into size of, but here the syntax is like n comma size of integer. Let's understand with example. So here the same size will be allocated, that is 5 into 2, 10 bytes. But the 10 bytes is not as a single, but there are 5 different blocks will be created as you seen in figure. Now let's understand the main difference between malloc and calloc. So the full form of malloc is memory allocation and calloc is contiguous allocation. The second difference is what? You can assign only the single block of memory using malloc, but if you want to assign multiple blocks, then you have to use calloc function. Third one is what? The syntax. Both have a same syntax, only in a malloc we are passing one parameter and in a calloc we are passing two different parameters. Next one is what? When you are allocating memory using malloc functions, the by default value of that elements are garbage, but when you are using dynamic concept, then the memory allocated has a elements all are 0. And the last one is malloc is a faster compared to calloc function. And now move to the next function, that is reallocate. So as I told earlier, the malloc and calloc, both the function are used for allocating new memory, but the reallocate function is used to resize the previously allocated memory. Clear? So how it is used? Let's see here the syntax. First the pointer ptr equals the function name realloc, that is realloc, and then inside it we have to pass two parameters. First is a pointer and second is a new size. So if you want to resize your previously allocated memory, suppose I assign only 10 blocks and we want to now change 50 blocks, then your new size will be there. Clear? Let's understand with a example. So previously allocated memory is using two different way. First is a malloc and second is a calloc. Here I am considering malloc function, like ptr equals integer star, then malloc 5 into size of integer, means 10 bytes of memory will be allocated, and now we want to change it using reallocate. So for that we have to follow the syntax, like ptr equals our function reallocate and then ptr, that is the pointer that allocates the memory using malloc function, and then 10 into size of integer, means 10 into 2, 20 bytes will be allocated instead of 10. Just see the figure. Here I am considering the same concept. First we are allocating memory using malloc, that is 10 bytes, and then we can resize it, means you can increase or decrease that allocated memory using reallocate. Here I am taken the example for increasing the size. So our size will be 10 into 2, 20 bytes will be there. Now move to the next function, that is last one, free. So when we are using this concept, so when I not needed the previously allocated memory and our program is completed, then we have to compulsorily free the memory, that means deallocate the previously allocated memory, and for that we have to use this free function. So the syntax is very simple. First we have to write the free and then inside it we have to write the pointer name. So example is same, free and then pointer, suppose ptr. So what happened, the previously allocated memory using malloc or calloc will be now free for another purpose. So let's understand with a figure. Ptr equals integer star calloc and then 5 comma size of integer. That indicates what? We are allocating 10 bytes of memory using calloc, and now we want to free it. So for that simply I have to write like free and then pointer name ptr. So that allocated memory now released from the memory and you can use for another purpose. I hope you guys understand this concept of DMA very well. If you like this video, then thumbs up. If you think this video will help some of your friends, then do share this video with them. Also you can subscribe my channel, so when I upload new video you get a notification. In our next lecture we will see more in a practically.